Good evening and a warm welcome to InBody's webinar on overcoming challenges of obesity counseling in lockdown period. My name is Ankita Ghag. I am a clinical dietitian with InBody India. When we talk about lockdown, we all know what is the cycle of everyone. It's eat, work, eat, sleep, repeat. So they are just on the repeat mode wherein eat comes multiple times, because of which the people are leading to the metabolic disorders like obesity, diabetes and many more. So let's understand how what are the challenges which we have in this lockdown period because of this life cycle. As we saw the cycle of the lockdown, which is eat, sleep, work, eat, repeat. So every now and then it's eating, and it's not a healthy eating what they are doing. People are more inclined towards a junk food. If they are not getting it outside, they are making it at their place and they are eating it. It can be as simple as the chaat items like pani puri, sev puri, ragda patties, dabeli, or a typical local Mumbai food like a pav bhaji, vada pav, which you get on day-to-day basis everywhere. They are also inclining themselves towards the desserts, which can be as simple as malpuha, rabdi, pancakes, chocolates, chocolate cake, and whatnot. What is it all? They are high in carbohydrates, low in protein, again very high in fat because they are deep fried, and very few in micronutrients. What is it leading to? They are gaining their weight, but is it their real weight gain or is it a fat gain? In this lockdown period, as we saw, eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep, repeat. So, when we talk about work, people are doing work from home, wherein it is reducing their physical activity. They are just stationed at one single place for prolonged period. And the exercise, if we say, being a lockdown, just blame it on lockdown. I cannot go to gym. I am not working out. I'll eat whatever I want to. So, what is it happening? Before lockdown, they disciplined themselves to achieve a target. But now, just blame it on lockdown. I cannot do anything. So, this is a major challenges which we face when we are into this lockdown period. The one more big thing which we see in this lockdown period is the increased screen timing. Either people are too much into their laptops, their gadgets, electronic gadgets like television or mobile phone, because of which the sleep duration has been hampered. If you go and open the memes on Instagram also, you will see who has changed their sleeping timings from night 4 a.m. to afternoon 1 a.m. 1 p.m. Many will say, yes, it's my lifestyle now. Or certain people who are like, I sleep at 3, but I have to wake up again at 7 p.m. What you will be doing till 3? I was just playing Ludo, which is the trending thing which is happening in today's day. So things are changing. Because of this decreased sleep timing and increased screen time, people are having various side effects on their health. It seems like, okay, I'm just at home, so it doesn't matter whether I sleep for long duration, I can sleep anytime. So the sleep has become disturbed in this individual. So, if we see a lifestyle which has become during this lockdown period is excessive eating, reduced physical activity, and very varied sleep timing or probably sleep duration, what is it leading to? It's leading to obesity. And if we work out in more detail, it can be gaining of more amount of body fat mass. The reason why I am emphasizing more on gaining of the fat mass is the study says that if the person is having inadequate sleep, the person is gaining more amount of body weight. The major reason of that gain in the body weight is the fat gain. So there was a study which was done, and it was a 6-year study which stated that people who are having disturbed sleep timing or too short or too long sleep timings are more prone for increased weight gain and increase fat. Researchers also state that having a adequate sleep, that is between 7 to 7.5 hours, makes it easy for losing the fat and maintaining their muscle mass. Whereas people who don't sleep for 7 to 7.5 hours or who has got reduced sleep timings, they have a tendency for regaining their body fat mass and reducing their lean mass. So is it an alarm for us to decrease our screen time, and sleep duration should be into a consideration when it comes to the fat loss. Talking about fat, what is it leading to? If we see, the increased body fat leads to insulin resistance, And we all know insulin resistance leads to diabetes. So, just one single thing, because of this lifestyle, the person is going into central obesity, because of which there is increased progressive loss of the beta cells, leading to glucose tolerance. At the end, person ends up having diabetes mellitus, which is again a salient disorder and it has its own complication. So, isn't it an alarm for us to start working right now before we end up going to that stage? We all know excessive fat gain means the person is obese, and obesity leads to all these various metabolic disorders, which can be type 2 diabetes, dyslipidemias, high risk of various types of cancer. There are mood disorders, that person is having rigorous mood swings, CVDs, person is facing lots of reproductive disorders, liver ailments and hypertension. Therefore, it's very essential to beat this obesity right now at the beginning rather than to wait for disorders to come in the picture and then have the precautionary steps to not to progress towards the complications. Since we spoke about obesity, but how do we assess the patient and counsel the patient to prevent this obesity during this lockdown period? Being said that, how can we assess obesity once we are into this lockdown period? With the simple techniques like using anthropometric measurements. We can ask patient to do their weight, ask for their height and we can calculate the BMI. We can educate patient on taking their waist circumference or taking their waist to hip ratio. Also, BIA is a handy tool for such patients. Using a dietary recall as a tool for assessment is very easy by doing a 24-hour diet recall or by using food frequency questionnaire or by asking patient to fill in the food diary, wherein it will be quite easy for us to assess what is their dietary recall, like what is their daily intake and how it is affecting their body. With the help of that, we can actually plan a proper diet to this patient and have the better improved quality and help them to curb this obesity. We all know what is BMI, body mass index, which is weight in kg divided by height in meter square. According to WHO, the normal BMI should be 25 kg per meter square, but for Asian Pacific standards, it has reduced down to 22.9 kg per meter square. If it is above that, the person is overweight and then the obesity starts. So, this kind of individuals who are overweight and obese are at a higher risk of developing CVDs, hypertension, diabetes, and various more disorders. So, it's very essential to counsel this patient. Having said about BMI, how can we rely more on BMI? Talking about the reliability of BMI, if we see out here the sumo wrestler and the muscular person is having same height, same weight and same BMI. Can we call sumo wrestler quite healthy and the muscular man unhealthy? No, we cannot. Because the person body fat levels in both of them varies. Because of which it's very essential for us to know the person body fat levels of this individual rather than just assessing their BMI. BMI can tell us about the obesity but not the obesity in the individuals who are too muscular. They are obese because of their muscle mass. So it's kind of a healthy sign, but if they are obese because of their fat mass, that means they are not healthy. They are prone towards a more metabolic disorders. So it's very essential for us to understand the person body fat levels of the individuals whom we are counseling. Waist to hip ratio. We all know how to check their waist to hip ratio, but during this lockdown period, we cannot go there and check their waist circumference and hip circumference. We need to teach them, educate them why waist to hip ratio is important and how they can measure their waist circumference and hip circumference. All they need to do is take a single measuring tape. With the help of that, they can measure their waist circumference, that is from the end of the last strip and top of iliac crest. So that's where they will be checking their waist circumference. And talking about the hip circumference, they need to measure the widest portion of their buttocks. Now, once they do that, we need to see where they stand, whether they are into normal range, lower side or on a higher side. So that's why we can counsel them and make them more compliant towards the diet regime and towards the exercise regime. Once we teach individuals on checking their waist circumference and hip circumference, we also need to guide them for certain precautionary steps before doing their waist to hip ratio. First, the tightness of a tape is very important. The tape shouldn't be held too loose or too tight while doing the circumference. So it's very essential to hold the tape properly, not too tight, not too loose. The posture is quite important. The person should be standing straight and doing the test of their waist circumference and hip circumference. The patient should respire while doing the test. They don't need to breathe in too much to decrease the abdominal tension, because of which we will get the wrong results. At times, people do suffer from flatulence, they do suffer from bloating, constipation. During that time, it's advised not to do this test or not to check their circumferences, because of constipation or bloating or flatulence, there is a influence on stomach, because of which the results won't be appropriate. The readings will be more and which will be wrong. So it's advised to do the test when the person is not having such kind of things in their stomach, which is flatulence, constipation, bloating, and various more disorders. BIA technology, that is bioelectrical impedance analysis technology. So it will help us to understand the components of body, which is total body water, muscles, fat, and minerals, based on which we can assess the patient very much appropriately and understand their person body fat levels and plan the diet accordingly. Patients or clients can use their home scales to assess body composition analysis. When we talk about the home scale for body composition analysis, let's understand what is the home scale and what all parameters do we get from this home scale. As waist to hip ratio have certain precautions, even BCA machine will also have certain precautionary steps, such as their arms should be straight. They should be doing the test on the bare feet because it works on BIA technique. So we need that current, that impedance should be passing through the body to get a appropriate results. It should be done prior to physical activity. The only reason why is once the individual does his physical activity, there is muscle pumping, because of which the muscle mass will be overestimated and fat mass will be underestimated. It should be done on the room temperature and prior taking to the bath. The only reason why is temperature, that is the higher temperature, will work as a vasodilation and colder temperature will work as a vasoconstriction, resulting in the changes of the results of body composition. It should be done on empty stomach, because BIA technology won't be differentiating between the fecal matter and urine inside the stomach. It will be taking it as a fat mass. So it's very essential to be done when the person is on empty stomach. Otherwise, fat mass will be overestimated. It shouldn't be done during the menses. The only reason why is The woman is undergoing the metabolic change wherein the hormones are not balanced, because of which body composition won't be appropriate. The results won't be appropriate. Adequate, the proper height and weight should be input. The only reason why is it works on the impedance index and the total body water volume. If we change that, the results will be varied. The person should be standing in one posture before doing the test. That is, after waking up, the person immediately don't need to go and do the body composition analysis. They need to be stable in one posture. The only reason why is the total body water is it's distributed in that sleeping posture. Once the person wakes up and stands, it takes that body water to get stabilized, and it takes minimum 15 minutes. So it's very essential to maintain that posture for minimum 15 minutes before doing the test. It's very easy for us to take a dietary recall once the patient is sitting in front of us by showing that the measuring cups or measuring spoons. But it's very difficult to take it once we are doing an online consultation where we don't see the patient. So it's very important for us to educate the patient about the measuring tools, that is the measuring cups and measuring spoons. Also, we need to take the food frequency questionnaire to understand the food diversity of the individual or the food liking of that individual. And we can give them a food diary to maintain their dietary intake, so they are also aware what are they eating and what is leading to what, which will help us to plan into a better way. Once we understand their body composition, it will be very easy for us to enlighten them about their eating habits. After making them aware what are their eating habits, we can counsel them and make them understand that this is not important for you because your body composition is haywire. You are having excessive fat mass, you need to gain muscle mass, because we all know 80% of Indian lack their protein intake. Rather, they are having poor muscle quality. Indians lack their muscle mass. So it are the common published studies which we hear in day-to-day life. So we need to educate them about this. Once we educate them using BCA of the individual, we can plan their calories, which can be into positive nitrogen balance or negative nitrogen balance, appropriate protein intake and fat intake, and see to it the patient is compliant. After we make them understand why this is important for you, why this much calorie, why this much protein, patient follows it, and then we can assess them accordingly in the later follow-ups. Post diet, the most important thing is that person should be encouraged for doing some or the other physical activity. Based on their muscle and fat type, we can suggest them the cardio exercises or weight training. Cardio exercises can be as simple as doing 5 minutes HIIT for beginners if they are not prone for exercising, or if they are too much active, they can do intermediate or the expert level for the cardio exercises, or they can do as simple as skipping. Coming down to weight training, I understand the person cannot go to gym and they don't have dumbbells or kettlebells at their places. But instead they can use the water bottle which we use for drinking water. The 1 liter water equals to 1 kg of weight which they can use. Or the bathing tub which they can use fill in the water. It also becomes a weight training. Certain people I saw other day on Instagram, they are using the cylinders which is 19.5 kg. Depending upon the person's strength, they can use whatever they can, because at our place we are blessed with so many things with various weights that we can actually use them for weight training. It becomes very easy for them. There was also a video which I saw on the YouTube other day wherein the newborn mothers, when they are doing the exercises, they are using their toddlers as a weight. So at this very same time they are bonding with the toddler as well as they are doing their workout. So it can be benefited for both of them. So that way they can make exercises more interesting. So it depends upon the exercise planner or the trainer whom they are consulting for them to give them a cardio exercise or weight training or the yoga exercise, whichever the person is convenient with. Once the person starts following the proper diet and starts doing the exercise, it's very essential for us to monitor that patient. Once we monitor, we understand whether this exercise is working or not, whether this diet is working or not. We can see the changes in their body composition, in their muscle mass, in their fat mass. We can also motivate them saying that yes, you achieved so much of your target. Now let's plan this the next target and let's work it out. So we can give them small targets and monitor them throughout their journey. What will it return to? It will make the patient more compliant towards your diet regime and exercise regime. It will keep on motivating the person for having a healthier lifestyle. The person will indirectly say that yes, I am getting so much, why not have something more? That extra push will be given by your side also when we monitor them on regular basis and make the changes accordingly. In the period of digitalization, obesity is taking on a peak. Obesity management during this lockdown period is very essential and can be managed by using appropriate assessment tools. By monitoring their body composition analysis, it will help the patient motivated and be compliant towards the diet and exercise regime. So it's very essential to hit the right note and make the person more aware about his own health. If you have any doubts or any questions regarding this presentation, I will be online immediately after this. Also, if you have any doubts or any queries regarding InBody devices, you can email us at inbody@inbody.com, or you can DM us or ping us on @inbody. That's our Insta and Facebook handle. Thank you.